Hi, my name is Betty and I'm 11 years old. I enjoy ballet, swimming, climbing trees, building, learning, singing, acting, and baseball. I love the Red Sox. Although, many of you in this room are probably Yankees fans. Yeah. I have a very busy schedule. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm going to be in the school play this year. And it wasn't that long ago that I couldn't do any of these things because I had cancer. When I was 5 years old and in kindergarten, I wasn't acting like myself. I wasn't being as talkative and friendly as usual. I would go and play by myself, not interact with the other kids. I was tired all the time and couldn't keep up with my mom. When my mom took me to the park, I complained that I was tired just from walking to the car, from the car to the playground. So my mom brought me to my pediatrician and had a blood test done. Later that same day, my pediatrician called back and said to pack up our bags and head to the hospital because I had leukemia and I was going to be in the hospital for a long time. The first month was really hard. I didn't feel good. I had to cut off all my long hair because it was falling out. My mom couldn't go to work because she had to take care of me in the hospital. And sometimes I was scared. I had a port put in surgically. A port is a plastic tube that is put into your body that goes straight into an artery that leads to your heart. I also started getting lots of chemotherapy. I got chemotherapy injections every day. I took lots of pills, and I got chemotherapy injections infused into my spine once a week. I also got PEG shots. PEG shots are another form of chemo, and they are injected into your thighs. They are very, very painful and freeze up your thighs for a long time after they are given to you. I hated PEG shots. If my mom told me we were going to the hospital for a visit, which we did about every week, I would always ask, are there going to be PEG shots? Because I hated them so much. Every night I had to take about 13 pills. I was really good at taking pills, even though I was only 5. Once, when I was inpatient in the hospital, there was a 15-year-old up there as well. He would not take any of his pills, he refused. So the nurses asked me to show him how, and I did. I could even swallow more than one at a time. I spent 3 years in chemotherapy treatment for leukemia, which meant I spent a lot of time in the hospital, sometimes staying there for a month, sometimes staying there for a week, and sometimes staying there just for the day. I couldn't go to school much, and there were long stretches when we couldn't even leave our house at all, and the neighbors had to bring groceries and leave it on the front step. And some days, my temperature was too high and I went to the emergency room in the middle of the night. It was extra dangerous to have my temperature high with my immune system so weak. Then I would get admitted to the hospital for a while. When I was in the hospital, there was one thing I was looking forward to a lot and already planning: my Make-A-Wish trip. During the first month that I was in the hospital, the nurses told me about Make-A-Wish and how I would get to wish for whatever I wanted to. The Make-A-Wish Foundation grants one wish to any child with a life-threatening disease. It really helped me a lot to hear about other kids with terminal illnesses who went to amazing places. And I got to think that someday I would get to have a really special wish like that too. I spent months trying to figure out what I was going to do. I've always loved dolphins. They're my favorite animals. So I knew that my wish would have something to do with dolphins. I also really wanted to see the rainforest and a volcano. So I narrowed it down to Costa Rica or Hawaii. And then I couldn't decide. One day, I would tell my mom, "Mom, I've decided I'm going to Hawaii." And the next day, I'd go up to her again and I'd say, "Mom, I changed my mind. I'm not going to Hawaii, I'm going to Costa Rica." And I changed my mind back and forth, and I couldn't decide. But when the new Disney resort opened in Hawaii, I knew right away that that was exactly what I wished most to do. I wanted to go to Hawaii and stay at Aulani, the Disney resort there. I had 2 amazing visits from my wish granters, and I got to tell them about what I liked most and what I wanted to do. Then in February, they knocked on my door and told me I'd be going to Hawaii in 2 weeks. I was so excited. Hawaii was absolutely amazing. It was even better than I thought it would be. I played in the ocean a lot. We had a private beach at Aulani. Minnie and Mickey were there with their Hawaiian shirts and surfboards, and we saw them a lot. We also got to see Goofy, Donald Duck, and Stitch. For anyone out there who doesn't know who Stitch is, he's the little furry blue alien guy who landed in Hawaii from Lilo and Stitch, the movie. I went for a hike in the rainforest and another hike along the rim of Volcanic Crater. But by far, the highlight of my trip was when my mom and I went out on a dolphin watching boat. We saw 2 pods of Hawaiian spinner dolphins, a couple of breaching whales, and a Hawaiian green sea turtle. In the afternoon, we went snorkeling off the same boat. We put on our snorkeling gear and went into the water. It was amazing. There were lots of fish: butterfly fish, parrotfish, mackerel, filefish, tang, humuhumunukunukuapua'a, which is the state fish of Hawaii, also known as the reef triggerfish, and many others. After spending maybe 45 minutes looking at all the bright and beautiful fish, someone called something from the boat. We all picked our heads up out of the water, and they said, "Dolphins!" "Awesome, where are they?" we asked. "Over by that boat over there." But then the boat sped away. "Where are the dolphins now?" we asked. "We don't know," they replied. So we figured that that would be the end of the dolphin experience, and so we stuck our heads back in the water to keep looking at the wonders of the underwater world. And a pod of around 60 dolphins swam right past us, underneath us, and all around us. It was incredible. It was definitely an experience that I will never forget. The time when a pod of dolphins swam around me. There were 7 baby dolphins with their mothers. I made sure I counted and verified it with the underwater pictures we got. It was definitely the highlight of my trip and something I will remember for the rest of my life. Although that was the best part of my trip, I had an amazing trip besides that. I loved having time to play on the beach with my little sister, Tori, and snorkeling in the private Aulani Lagoon with my mom. We saw lots of humuhumunukunukuapua'a there too. I had the best time ever on my wish trip. My Make-A-Wish trip meant so much to me. Being able to go and do what I really wished to do with my ohana, that's the Hawaiian word for family, was amazing and meant a lot to me. My wish was only possible because of the staff, the people that founded Make-A-Wish, and the people that donated money to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I am so very thankful for all the wonderful people, just like you, who helped to make children's wishes come true. Aloha.